So please let me introduce myself. I'm Tim Metzler. I'm an RA on campus, and I love it. It's fantastic. I mean, I catch people having sex all the time. I bust people for alcohol on my friends. It's destroyed many of the relationships that I have created while being on campus. It's truly been a phenomenal experience, and I just love my life because of it. As a matter of fact, I love it so much that I am actually hired to be an RA next year. And one of the things that really has just been wonderful for me is we've already started to do stuff for next year. And one of the things that we've done is we've started creating a little video montage of some of these basic questions for who we are, where we're from, how old are you, what do you do in your free time. My favorite question was actually, and this is where it gets a little off the beaten path of, besides who I am, it's if you were a superhero, what superpower would you have? And this is one of those things where I've thought about all the millions of conversations I've had about this exact question. I thought, what does it define me if I answer it incorrectly? So I thought, well, maybe I'll do super strength, maybe I'll do super speed, maybe I'll just have like telekinesis or something. And then the perfect answer came to me. And so she asked the question, the interviewee, and she was taping it, of course, and it was, which is superpower. And I said, I would change colors. And when you think about it, it's the perfect superpower to have because, well, everybody else is off fighting like Godzilla. Like Godzilla is in Tokyo or something, like rising on, all the superhero people are, rising up and they're fighting Godzilla. I'd sit in the background and be like, now I'm pink. It really would be or maybe it wouldn't be that cool. Maybe like it wouldn't be like, maybe like a stupid like or something. But at least I'm teal. Are you teal? Teal's a fantastic color. So then I'd be like, Mr. Changing Color Fart Man, or whatever. I'd probably be aquamarine most of the time. It's a good color too. Anyways, another one of the good questions was, if you could have a tattoo, what would it be? And this just reminded me of all the millions of conversations I've had about getting tattoos as well. And every time I talk to people about getting tattoos, they've got to have something that means something to them, or some kind of symbol or something like that. And I thought, if I were to get a tattoo, just to smite them all, I would get something that has such little symbolism or metaphor or meaning to me that it would be totally pointless. As a matter of fact, I would probably just get some song lyric or something from a song that I just don't care about, And I thought, well, in a recent conversation, actually, I had this conversation with some of my RA friends. They mentioned that they wanted to get white tattoos. Oh, that's good. So you want a needle stuck in you so we can't see your tattoo. Great! So I thought, just to smite them, I would get it in the most painful place possible. So I want to get song lyrics in concentric circles around my nipple. Like, for example, like little teeny, words right on starting in the very center of my nipple, just right on the center. I'd probably get like one song like, if I were a rich man, if I were a rich man. Or maybe what I'd do is I'd have it's starting on my on my lips or something like that, and going down, if I were a man, going down to my nipple down here or something. I'd be like, oh my God, the words you speak come from your heart. No, I tattooed my nipple. Okay? Now, one of the problems with being an RA is you have to go on rounds all the freaking time, and you have to stay up till midnight, you have all these extra duties, and of course, the genius me took 18 credits this last semester, and seemingly every semester. So, of course, I have to stay up until, all the time. And so what I do is I compensate by, extreme energy. But I found no better way to get energy than through energy drinks, really, because they're tasty, they're fun. To me, you're either a this kind of person or you're a that kind of person. Like, I'm this, you're that, or this or that. Like, either you're a Coke person or you're a Pepsi person. But when it comes to energy drinks, you're either any energy drink or Red Bull. And of course, I'm Red Bull. And Red Bull is fantastic. It gives you so much energy. Like, it's fantastic. But of course, with every energy drink, especially Red Bull, because it's so expensive, you have to wait until it goes on sale to get it. Otherwise, you're paying, top dollar for diarrhea. So me, in my inimitable, mentally challenged state, I usually get the big 20-ounce cans when it's buy one, get one free. And I drink it all at once, of course. Now, to make this clear to you, you're not supposed to have remotely close to 300 milligrams of caffeine. There's nearly that in every can of Red Bull. So me drinking 40 ounces of Red Bull is the equivalent of a young child overdosing on Ritalin. Like foaming at the mouth, seizuring. And of course, I get all my homework done in a half hour. But like I said, the worst part of that is the bowel movement afterwards. The next day, homework comes in weeks. So I have a full week of just drinking pure 40-ounce Red Bull, 2 to 3 times a day. So the amount of sugar that goes into me literally turns my insides into liquid, and I poop out all of my organs at one point in time. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that everyone has awkward moments in their life when it comes to poop. For me, I've determined that there are particularly 4 poop moments in your life that are just grave outcome. Terrible. They define you in a very sick way, and when people ask you about them, you have to tell them the story again and again because they're like, that's hilarious. You died pooping. That's funny. The first story, of course. Do you mind if I tell you the stories? Or no, you don't. Okay. So the first story, of course, is when you're a younger child, and it's like your first oops moment. And for me, my first oops moment happened in a Chuck E. Cheese during my friend's birthday party. I was 5 years old. And of course I had, a little bit of poop inside me. And I'm having fun running, in the tubes and stuff like that, getting tickets, and I jump into the ball pit, and then all of a sudden a little poop squirts out. And being 5 years old, you're unsure what to do. You think, well, I can either run away or just continue pooping. So I continued pooping. Now the next moment in your life happens when you're at your workplace, of course. This is what everyone has experienced. And, typically when you're a new person on maintenance or something like that. For me, this happened when I was on maintenance at Festival Foods. Thank you, Festival Foods. And what happened is my manager approached me and said, Tim, right? That's what your name tag says. Yeah, nice to meet you too, Greg. And of course he says, so you're trained in maintenance now, right? Yeah, no, a full day of it. I'm really experienced now. I know exactly what I'm doing when it comes to cleaning up nothing. And so he says, well, could you go clean up a mess in the bathroom? There's just a little accident that happened. Oh, sure, no problem. I'd love to, as a matter of fact. I love working here. I love my job. And so you go in there with your mop and everything, and you realize that somebody exploded. But they exploded on everywhere except the toilet. As they were walking in the door, they literally liquefied into poop. All of us have had this experience, and if you have not, then I'm going to set it up for you. Charming, really. The third one, of course, is what happens in class, and it's not a poop accident, it's a poop control problem. And see, you're sitting in class, and you're all of a sudden have to what happened? And you've got something criminal happening inside of your bowels in the middle of you're sitting in the most boring class in the world, and you still have 15 minutes left. And of course, it's like in early Christianity, the Gospel of Thomas was not considered doctrine. As a matter of fact, it was considered heresy, and so they had eliminated from the Bible originally. It was greater than 200 AD that we found it in non-Bible texts. And you're just sitting like, please stop. And of course, then when there's 5 minutes left, and you're watching the clock, like, get me out of here. The one day we don't end early. And of course, then you're sitting there just trying your hardest to control it. Man! And then your teacher, your professor calls on you like, Timmy, oh! Oops. And the third one is your personal story. And this is the one what I'm talking about where you can tell anyone this story and they were like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. That is so awkward and then some. For me, this happened in a foreign country, actually. I was visiting a foreign exchange student. His name was Dome, although his real name was Nidhi Rojanya. But we didn't say it. For obvious reasons. And when we were in Thailand, we were traversing, it's a good word, traversing the ruins of Ayutthaya. Actually, it's this ancient city originally made of gold, and the barbarian horde came in and melted all the gold away, so now it's just rubble. And we were riding on the backs of elephants. To give you a little preface to this, we had been there a couple of weeks, and see, in America, when I eat Asian food, I get the runs. In Asia, when I eat Asia food, I get the double runs. And so we're sitting on the back of the elephant, and I'm sitting like, well, this is... And so for a full half hour on the back of these elephants traversing, going through all these ruins and stuff of Ayutthaya, of course, I'm just waiting for my misery to end. I'm like, God, if you take me now. If you take me now. Bring the elephant with me. He's super cool. Anyways, long story short, we got off the elephant, and I ran to the bathroom. And of course, as soon as I got there, the little Asian man guy stopped me and he was like, oh, you have to pay. I'm like, great, I have to pay for the bathroom. That's wonderful. I'm in the ruins of Ayutthaya, I have to pay for the bathroom. So I wait for my dad to run over, and he has all the money, of course, because I didn't get trusted with any money. So anyhow, he comes over, pays the money, I run in there, and I realize all of a sudden that, yes, I am in Asia, and they do not have toilets, they have holes in the ground. Fantastic. So I am sitting there, because up until this point in time, I had been able to avoid going poop in a hole in the ground. I had been able to find the nice toilets. But in this particular situation, when I am in emergency mode, there's a hole in the ground, and guess what? I don't even have any toilet paper. So I am sitting there screaming to my dad, Dad, bring the Kleenex! And I'm reaching there, like, trying to figure out what's going on, pull down my trousers, and I'm sitting there like, where's the button to make the toilet come out, or something like that. Nothing happens, obviously. So I kind of work around this situation. And I just, looking down at the hole ground like, hey man, what's up with you? And he's, just sitting down there waiting for me to poop him. And so I'm sitting here like, I need something to hang on to. And I look up this ledge over there, and I grab on, and I do this. It's like, okay, go. And as I'm doing this, I realize that there's a bunch of lizards all over the wall. I'm like, well, good, I have company. All right. How are you? I'm going to name you Jeffrey. And turn away, Jeffrey. And so, anyways, I go, and I don't even look like, what that? I just poop in the thing, And I look down, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. I blew up the Death Star. So that's pretty much the end of that. From there, it just gets gross, because I didn't even get any toilet paper. Anyhow, I wanted to end by pointing out that it's Friday the 13th, and I consider this a holiday for no reason, just so I can make it a part of my bit and tell you that in 9 days is Earth Day, and also make it a part of my bit to tell you that the hardest holiday to celebrate, look at this, in my bit you have to connect these things, of course. So, in my bit, I'm going to say that the hardest holiday to do anything for is Mother's Day. And the reason why is because all of the cards are just fake. Really? No, they are. They are. I mean, you get any cards. Let me demonstrate. Let me do it. I bought a card for my mom that said, "To the greatest mother." Hearts and flowers and naked baby cherubs. Heart wings. In the entire world! It's really terrible, actually. And, you can't, You can't give that to your mom. I wish they would just make a real card that made sense, like, hey Mom, happy Mother's Day. You did the best you could. That's it. No, yeah, I still love you. Okay, now of course I get a card back that says that you're a disappointment too. Thanks, Mom. That's really good. To me, I think that cards are much more important to women than to men, of course. Seriously, they are. I mean, you give a guy a card, that's great. What's wrong with you? With women, you give them a card and just message to guys, make sure you read the card before you do it. Don't just get it for aesthetic purposes. I learned the hard way, of course, and this was like my first time that I was ever interested in a girl, and this was in high school, and I thought, well, it's coming up on Valentine's Day, and I want to do something special, so I went and I found the perfect Valentine's Day card, and it was this big heart with all these little doilies on the side. They're like, little babies. And I'm like, well, this is beautiful. This is perfect. And it said Happy Valentine's Day, and so I opened it up, from Tim. And I was really more concerned about like flowers and chocolate and stuff like that, and I gave it to her. And of course, she opened it up. The whole spiel with her ended about 2 seconds later. She opened up the card and she started laughing and said, to the man I love. Thank you very much, you've been awesome.